So now, welcome to the Sweet Life interviews, which is going to be a new travel series where I'm going to be interviewing travel experts and people in the industry. And today, my very first guest for the series is Katrina Latimer. Thanks, Katrina, for joining me of AmaWaterways River Cruises. So we're going to delve in a little bit about what it is that makes these river cruises so special. Thanks for joining me today, Katrina.
Thank you. It's really, really lovely to be here. So I appreciate it. And I didn't know it was your very first guest, so very excited.
Yes, you were the very first one. So I suppose let's talk a little bit about what they are and maybe about what your position is with AmaWaterways and how long have you been with the company?
Well, I joined AmaWaterways 18 months ago,
Yeah,
and I am one of four business development managers. And we manage partnerships with our very good partners, travel agents all across the UK. And we very much specialise with agencies who work closely with cruise companies.
yeah. Okay, great. I keep saying AMA, but it's AmaWaterways. I know. I'm just check that before we started. So I suppose, and like, how long have you been with AmaWaterways yourself?
So 18 months with
18 months. Yeah,
AmaWaterways,
yeah,
yeah. I've had a year prior to that with Royal Caribbean
yeah,
and over 25 years with various other land companies like TUI and First Choice and Thomas Cook, all doing the same type of business
yeah.
development role.
So you're a real expert in the area completely, aren't you?
Yeah, my whole career has been in the travel industry. It's a magnificent industry to work in. You're fulfilling people's dreams every day. You know, we're
Yeah,
working closely with our travel agent partners, who are finding out and gathering information from customers about what their dream looks like,
yeah.
and then we hopefully
Making it
fulfill that.
possible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly
And
right.
do you think, is this your dream job now at the moment?
Oh my goodness, it's amazing. And I think because of the age that I'm at now,
Yeah.
I very much appreciate the finer things in life. And with AmaWaterways being a five-star luxury cruise,
Mm.
then it very much is akin to where I've reached in my life.
Isn't that
I'm
lovely to
very,
have got there and have all this there
yeah,
in your palm of your hands? And I
exactly.
suppose like we know about the bigger ones, the big cruise ships. So what are the benefits of going on a smaller river cruise like AmaWaterways?
So, do you know what? The biggest difference between going on an ocean cruise
Mm.
or a river cruise is that ocean cruise ships take you to countries,
Yeah.
river ships take you through countries.
Okay.
So you're always next to land, you've always got scenery, there's no such thing as a sea day. All of the cabins have got a river view. There's
Yeah.
nothing like an inside cabin. And it's very gentle. I
Mm.
mean, AmaWaterways being that higher end of luxury, it's very chic, it's very elegant, and it's a really relaxed way of seeing those countries. And I think the biggest thing for a cruise overall, but specifically river cruising, is you fly, you get to your ship, you unpack once, and
Mm.
then you really, if you're going to Europe, you run a city break, but you're not packing and unpacking. You don't have transfers. The ship just literally pulls in. You walk over the gangplank, and you're in the centre of Cologne or the centre of Amsterdam or Budapest or wherever. It's just a wonderful, wonderful way to enjoy a land holiday,
Yeah.
but your floating boutique hotel comes with you.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. It sounds like it's really immersive as well for the people on it.
Every day there's something new to do.
Yeah.
I mean, all of our excursions are included in the price.
Mm.
We have a wellness host on board, that's included in the price. We have multiple restaurants. I'll talk about dining and
Yeah.
wine afterwards. But certainly in terms of the excursions, we've got cycle bikes on board. And depending on what your walking ability is, you could be either gentle or regular or
Yeah.
active. And we have three main groups, and all of the excursions, whether they be walking, hiking, cycling, entrance into various, whether it be museums or castles, or lots of added extras we like to surprise and delight on our excursions,
Mm.
all included in the price.
Because it sounds like being a smaller cruise, you can get into the nooks and crannies of towns and places that the
Exactly
bigger
right.
ones can't get
You're,
into.
you're in the centre. You're literally in the centre of town. I mean, the ocean cruise liners cannot go on a river,
Yeah.
end of. So,
Mm.
so you know, there are large ocean liners that
Mm.
go to countries. There are smaller ocean ships that can get into smaller islands.
Yeah.
But on a river, you're
Yeah.
literally landlocked.
Mm.
So there's no tidal, so there's no motion,
Yeah.
um, and it goes at 6 miles an hour. So
Wow.
it's
You're
just a
really
lovely
taking it all
leisurely
in,
way.
aren't you?
Yeah,
It sounds
it's gorgeous.
gorgeous. And I suppose because they're smaller ones, the passengers, it wouldn't be, the capacity will be smaller than a bigger cruise. So there's
Oh my
less
goodness.
less
Oh
people.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's chalk and cheese. I mean,
Yeah.
some of the giant ships take up to 7,500 people.
Yeah.
We've got ships that are as small as 28 passengers, and
Wow. Yeah.
that's in Africa. That's on the
Yeah.
Chobe River in Africa. That's a safari package. Um, but then we also have our European ships, which are generally between 100 to 150
Right.
guests. We have one very special ship
Mm.
called the Ama Magna, and she's a double width ship. But
Mm.
even though she's double the width,
Mm.
we haven't put double the guests on board. We've
Right.
only got
That's
20% more
more
guests on board.
space.
But she's our bigger ship at 196 passengers. So that's our biggest. So you really do get to know the other guests on board. You know, there's no
Yeah.
secrets on a river cruise ship
Yeah.
because
So
you
you've
meet
still
the
got,
same
like,
people all
because
the
they're
time.
small, you still have pools and you still have a variety of dining rooms that you can choose from.
Absolutely.
You've
Yeah.
still got all that on board, even though
Yeah.
they're a smaller version. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a heated pool on the top deck.
Yeah.
As you say, there's multiple dining options on our ship. So there's the main restaurant. We
Mm.
have a second restaurant called the Chef's Table.
Yeah.
Now, the Chef's Table, every single guest gets to eat there. It only holds about 28, 30 guests. But every single person gets to dine there one night, and it's a 7-course taster menu. So it's champagne on arrival and all your different courses
Yeah.
paired with beautiful fine wine. So that's included. There's no surcharges. There's nothing extra. You don't pay for anything extra when you get on board.
Yeah, it really is an experience, isn't it? And I think that's what people are looking for now since the pandemic. They're looking for that experiential holiday that,
Yeah.
aren't they? Not just your normal holidays. They want more. I mean, because I think it really made us look at our lives a lot more deeper with the pandemic. And I think everyone's just going looking for these gorgeous luxury holidays, which is what the river cruises sounds like. And I suppose, what is there an overall age for the passengers, or is it kind of varied?
It's a really good question because I think there's a perception that
Mm.
river cruising is for the much older
That's
generation.
changing though, I think now.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah.
So in actual fact, our demographic is between 45 and 65.
Okay.
Now, a lot of that comes from the fact that we have multi-generational families on board.
Yeah.
So let's call them the adult children.
Yeah.
So the adult children could be in their 30s and 40s, and they're traveling with parents
Yeah.
in their 60s or 70s. So therefore, that's why we always have this kind of generalized between 45, 65, which is
Yeah.
much younger than anybody else in the river cruise market.
Yeah.
So I think because we've got the wellness host, because we've got the bikes, and because even though I'm saying it's a very gentle, relaxing holiday, it can be as active as you want it to be, because the excursions have, longer hikes, cycle rides, whatever. You can actually, even if you wanted, get off at one port and cycle to the next port, and the ship will sail, and you just join it further down the river. Because remember, it's going at 6 miles an hour, so it doesn't travel that far each day.
And what about children? Is there children on board, or is it mostly for that age group that you mentioned?
I would say it's mostly adults.
Yeah.
We will take children, but we don't promote our packages for children, and specifically because we don't have any facilities on board. River cruise ships are not built for children. There's no children's pool, there's no children's meals or dining experiences. And there's no children's bikes, so really it's an adult experience.
Yeah.
If we have guests come to us and, they've got children who are very well traveled children who understand what a city break looks like, for example, and they're 10 plus, absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, one of our great ships for families is that double width ship, the Ama Magna that I mentioned.
Yeah.
She sails on the Danube, and she takes in Vienna and Bratislava and Budapest and really big iconic cities. But we do have children's bikes on that ship, and we do have many staterooms that are triples and quads.
Okay, so that's good to know for people that there's that option, isn't it? Because if there's the generation of family going, there could be grandkids that they don't want to miss out. So everyone wants to be there. So that would be one to look out for, the double one for
exactly.
families.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the Ama Magna on the Danube.
Ama Magna, that's good to know for families. And I suppose there's another area that I've noticed I'm writing and listening to people is the solo traveler.
Yeah.
I travel on my own, my young children. I have twins, they're 10. And I know a lot of my friends who travel on their own as well. They're in their 40s and 50s. Do you do solo traveler packages?
We absolutely do.
Yeah.
Generally, it's a percentage of the overall price.
Okay.
So, for example, this is just an example.
Yeah.
It could be something like between 120 and 150% of fare.
Okay.
So that's generally what you'd be looking at paying. And there are some of the ships where we do have single staterooms, but most of the ships you'd be in a double stateroom for solo occupancy.
Yeah, okay, okay, that's good to know. And I suppose the itinerary is a real magnet for AmaWaterways because you can get in closer to all these gorgeous places. What has been the most popular itinerary this year? Has there
Oh
been?
wow. I'm gonna blow
Is
your
there
mind
so
now.
many?
Yeah, well, I think what we need to maybe introduce is the fact that we not only do European cruises, we've got 28 ships.
Yeah,
Over 20 of them are in Europe. In Europe, the most popular river is the Danube
yeah.
by a country mile. And we have 4 or 5 ships in the Danube, including Ama Magna. But we also have Mekong in Vietnam and Cambodia.
Wow.
That is our most popular itinerary in the UK market. So
Right.
we have one ship called the Amadara,
Yeah,
and she sails from Vietnam through to Cambodia. You can go from any regional airport, get your flights out. Our cruise manager will meet you for the land part. So we have a
yeah.
pre and post stay, and then you get 7 nights cruising along the Mekong, and it's very culturally immersive. Over and above that, we have literally just launched Colombia.
I was going to ask, is there any new ones coming in
Yeah, and
2024?
that's
Yeah,
the River Magdalena.
right.
Now, the River Magdalena has never had a commercial sailing on it. So I expect her to be our most popular going forward.
Yeah,
Right now, it would be the Danube
right.
and then Mekong.
Yeah.
Going forward, because we've introduced Colombia and we've got 2 ships in Colombia. I mean, if I could actually say, we have a team of engineers out there dredging the river to make it ready for when we start sailing in November 24.
That's incredible.
But that will be very much a Latin American feel, lots of biodiversity, lots of cienegas, which are the wetlands,
Yeah.
and the little cruises into the wetlands. But it'll be, cumbia dancing, jazz performances, rhythm music,
Right into the
coffee.
culture, isn't it?
Oh
The
my
culture
gosh.
experience. And how long do
Yeah.
you like? Is there? Can you pick like between 7 and 14 days? How long would a river cruise be? What's the average time frame?
Great question. All of our cruises are 7 nights,
Right.
except the Africa one that I mentioned earlier, which is a 4-night cruise in the middle of a safari.
Yeah.
But there are some itineraries that are 10 and 11, and there's some which are back-to-back itineraries, which would be 14 nights. So, for example, in the Danube, you can do back-to-back the upper Danube and then the lower Danube. So you've actually cruised the whole of the River Danube. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. But one thing to please note is that we have got pre and post land stays, which you can add on to all of our cruises. So you don't just go on a cruise, you can actually go and stay. So you might want to do Rhine castles in Swiss Alps, for example. You would fly to Amsterdam. You could then add on 2 or 3 nights in Amsterdam, stay in one of our beautiful 5-star hotels, join the ship, cruise down to Bâle in Switzerland. And then from there, we do a transfer over to Lake Como, and you could add 3 or 4 nights in Lake Como. So you make your itinerary as long
But
as
you do all that. You plan
we
all
do
that
all that.
with your
Absolutely.
clients. It's
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah.
That makes us, and all the flights are like with the Mekong, the flights and all are included.
Flights, overseas transfers, hotels if you're adding them on. Yeah. And when we do the pre and post land, the excursions are also included in the land part.
Yeah.
So the cruise manager will be with you and they will take you to all the local sites so that you don't miss a second of the places that you're visiting.
Okay, I think I'm gonna look it up now in a minute and book it myself. It sounds amazing. I just want to try them all. They sound incredible. And I suppose since the pandemic, it's only been a couple of years. We haven't forgotten about it. Have you seen a big rise in bookings since then, or has it always been a popular choice for people on holidays?
Do you know what? It was growing.
Yeah.
pre-pandemic. So up to 2019, there was an upwards trajectory for river cruising. And then, of course, there was the big crash. Ocean cruising came back first because the ocean cruisers were able to cruise round the UK. So there's quite a few people who actually did these UK cruises, and that was great to get people on holiday, even though we weren't allowed to leave British shores, where people were on holiday. So that was great for the cruise market and the holiday market in general, just to get people thinking about traveling again.
And socially active again. I think
people
absolutely. Were afraid, well, right. You know, even just to go outside the door, you know.
Yeah. So then river has caught up. So much so that AmaWaterways are 40% up on 2019.
That's amazing.
So, and 2019, we were really at our peak, and we're now 40% up. So that just shows you. And I think you said at the outset of our chat, Yvonne, people just want to do amazing things.
Yeah.
They want to go and immerse themselves in other cultures, other countries.
And not wait till kids are older, wait till I'm older.
Absolutely.
No, just do it now. And I think that attitude, I see it everywhere. People are going on these extreme holidays. They're just going for it. And that's the way it should be. Yeah. Amazing. I suppose I know you said earlier on about, and I only wrote an article on the Travel Suite site about cruising one suitcase at a time. You only need one suitcase to go away. What do you pack for a river cruise?
Do you know, this is a good question. We get asked this a lot. So if you think about it, it depends on where you're going, to be fair. So, for example, if you're going to Europe, depending on what time of year you go, because we sail all year round. So, you know, you need to pack weather-appropriate clothing. On board, it's very relaxed.
Yeah.
So we don't have formal dining.
Okay, that's good to know.
Albeit people do get smart casual. You know, people get as if they were going out for dinner here in the UK, in Ireland. So basically, you've got smart casual on board. Definitely good walking shoes, because you'll be doing a lot of, you know, looking around places and cities and towns and villages. You might be going on a hike. I always take my padded cycling shorts, because I usually go on the bikes. So I take my own padded cycling shorts. You don't necessarily need those. You're fine just with a pair of leggings. I would take a pair of trainers or something, because we have got the wellness host, and you could be doing some classes, and pack your cozy, because you'll be going in the pool as well. You know, you get
nothing formal though, which is good to know, because some of them look like the dinners can be quite formal. I suppose it depends, but it's smart casual.
But people do tend to find that when people book themselves in for the chef's table, they can get their best rock out,
of course. And is there a salon? Is there a hairdressers and all on board? All those facilities.
Absolutely. Spa treatment rooms. The spa treatment rooms will have a menu of treatments, and obviously there's a cost charge to that. You would just charge that back to your cabin.
Okay, grand. So you don't have to worry about anything. Once you get on there, everything is all included in the packages. The drinks, the food, everything.
So in terms of the drinks, there are various different types of drinks packages across river cruising. We don't do all-inclusive drinks packages, because
most of them don't anyway, do they?
And for us, it's about the guests are off the ship. If you're overnight in Vienna, why would you sit on board the ship for the drinks package? You want to be doing the opera. You know, you want to be going around and seeing an orchestra. You want to see amazing things. So the wine, however, is included with your meals, and it's fine wines, and that fine wine is bottled wine, and it changes every single day. So there's a different wine every day, and there's obviously beer included, soft drinks are included. But pre-dinner drinks, every day pre-dinner drinks, there's an hour, normally 6 till 7, where you can drink whatever you like. That would be spirits and all the premium brands of gin and vodka, all the premium brands. Or you can have your Prosecco or your cocktails or anything. So there are multiple opportunities to enjoy a fine glass of wine or a lovely spirit and mixer.
I suppose if you're drinking that gorgeous food, I mean, people love to compliment it with a nice bottle of wine or whatever. So it'd be nice to even learn about what's the right wine to have with your meal, all that kind of thing. I'm sure they do all that as well.
Well, there's a couple of things on that, actually. It's a really good one, because AmaWaterways has been inducted into a gastronomic society.
Right.
Now, you can't ask to join, you have to be invited in. So the food is a la carte, and it's gourmet quality. So every day we dock, and every day the kitchen staff go and buy the fresh produce. So you know that everything is freshly prepared every single day. There's no vacuum packed, there's no frozen foods. We also, however, do have wine cruises. So if you were looking on our website or in a brochure and you saw a little bunch of grapes next to the date, then that means it's a specific wine cruise. And on those cruises, we actually have a wine specialist who stays on board, and they do lots of talks about the origins of the grape and lots of tasting sessions, and we do lots of visiting vineyards as well. So there are various different themes.
That'd be lovely for a foodie and people that love that kind of a holiday.
Definitely.
Isn't that lovely to have that? Come here, tell me, have you any funny stories of celebrities that have been on, or have you got anything that you get to? Who's been on? Anyone famous been on what some of the river cruises?
Well, in actual fact, yes.
Come here, I tell you.
I can't obviously disclose any secrets, but we had the lovely Scottish comedian Susan Calman on board. Now, she's a comedian and she does lots of things around the UK, but last year she started a cruising with Susan Calman programme on Channel 5.
Wow.
So last year we had her on AmaMagna.
Great.
She was on for a week.
Yeah.
And there was a film crew on board, and we did a whole series of events with her, going to all the different Christmas markets, and she went ice skating and did all sorts of different things. And we had 2 1-hour episodes, which was called Christmas Cruising with Susan Calman. Lovely. And it was on Channel 5 last December, the 21st and the 22nd of December. So if anybody wants to have a look at AmaMagna, have a look at, because she was very funny.
What it's actually like there on it.
What it's actually like, and then what do the excursions look like? What does it feel like going to the Christmas markets? Because it's a huge thing for river cruising, the Christmas markets. But of course, you get them all down the Rhine, Danube, France, Portugal. Portugal and France are much more pared back than the Rhine and the Danube, but it's Christmas market frenzy in those areas. Yeah, absolutely. So it's a huge thing. So it's a very, very good couple of episodes to watch, and you can get it on Catch Up TV.
Lovely,
as well.
Probably get it on YouTube too. Brilliant, and it's nice to have that look inside what it's really like, isn't it? And having people like that in the media go on and show what it's like, because it really gets into the nitty gritty, doesn't it? Like, and showing them exactly what the rooms are like, what it's like to dine, all that kind of thing.
Absolutely right.
It's really given us a good insight into Ama Cruises. Thank you so much, Katrina. Is there anything else you'd like to share? Have you got any new? The new one is Colombia next year. That's the new one that you want to mention here. Is there anything else you'd like the audience to know about AmaWaterways?
Yeah, I think probably just to say that, the travel suite can package everything up for you from your local airport. So, you can fly from Dublin, you can fly from Belfast City, Belfast International. So, if you were going, excuse me, on one of the long haul ones, you'd be potentially going via somewhere else. But you can do all of these fly cruises from your local airport. And I just think that's really important to know, that you don't have to get somewhere else before you start your trip. You can actually fly directly with us. But it's such a beautiful company. We literally wrap our arms around our guests when they get on board. It's very pared back, it's very relaxed, it's very elegant, but you will just leave feeling comforted, relaxed, and just full of happy memories. So I couldn't recommend it highly enough. It's just fantastic.
I mean, you couldn't say anything more, could you? It just sounds wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing about the AmaWaterways today, Katrina, and lovely to chat with you for the Sweet Life interviews. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Yvonne.